Hello everyone, this is Varun Grover, mentor at Career Launcher. Today I'm very pleased to welcome Aqsa Nida Sayeed. Aqsa is from New Delhi and she has studied at Delhi Public School, Mathura Road. She scored an outstanding 99 percentage marks in her CBSE board examination. And what makes her result very special, or rather even more remarkable, is that she scored a perfect 100 out of 100 in not one, not two, but rather three subjects. That is political science, psychology, and legal studies. And then when we are talking about CUT examination, recently held CUT examination, she continued that brilliance, scoring a perfect 100 percentile in political science, 99.87 percentile in English, and above 95 percentile in all the remaining subjects. Because of this success, Aksa has been able to secure admission to the iconic LSR, that is Lady Shri Ram College, and that also for a very, very famous course. Everyone wants to get, now in these days, everyone wants to get into that course in LSR, that is BA Psychology Honors. So, Aksa, a very warm welcome to you and heartiest congratulations to you and to your entire family.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. So, Aksa, tell me one thing, 99 percentage marks in the board examination overall and 100 percentile in political science in CUET. So, tell us about your overall preparation strategy. And when we are talking about CBSE board examination and CUET examination, how did you kept both going at the same time?
So, one thing I realized early on was that it was very important to start your preparation early. I started my GAT and English preparation for CUET from 11th grade and my domain preparation from the very beginning of 12th grade because I knew that later in point there will be a time when I won't be able to divide my time between CBSE and CUET preparation properly. So it is very, very important that you start early on so you are hassle less during the later months. Second most important thing that I realized was domain subjects are very important, especially in the course that I wanted to go in. Domain subjects carry the bulk of the weight. So it is very important to focus on that. Another thing that I realized was irrespective of the fact that the content for CBSE and CUET papers are the same, they require a vastly different approach. CBSE requires to have a subjective understanding. It requires you to memorize sentences and points. It requires you to use these arguments in a manner that you can answer various different questions. However, CUET requires you to read even captions underneath the pictures and remember who said what quote. So it is very important that you recognize these different approaches and go forward with this. Don't fool yourself into thinking that just because you have studied the NCRT chapters because you gave papers in schools, you are prepared for CUET. That is a huge misconception. Another thing which is very, very important is that you need to give mocks. You are familiar with the content already, yes, but you need to understand how the questions will be asked, what questions will be asked, how not just the questions, but even the options of the specific question can confuse you because it is built to confuse you. It is very important to give daily mock exams, to give chapter tests, to even in your breaks give questions 5, 10, 20 questions as much as you can because it gives you an idea about what will be asked and it also familiarizes you with the interface of the CUET paper.
You have very beautifully explained what to do in the CBSE board examination, what approach a student should follow in the CBSE board examination, and that also shows why you have been able to score 99 percentage marks. Now, talking about second thing, which you have said about mocks, that I can vouch also, you were amongst those students who ensured that you were attempting all the mocks. I can tell from the history and the political science point of view that yes, you have attempted all the mocks. So, mocks also, I keep on telling the students that it plays a very, very crucial role in your preparation. Okay. Now, tell me one thing, Aksa. Once your board examination got over, okay,
So,
then हमारा वो एक टाइम आता है that 1 month. Once your board
yes,
examination got over, now then you are completely getting shifted to CUT examination, वो जो एक
yes.
special month आता है. So tell me one thing, how did you refocus entirely on CUT specifically for that few days? What shifted in your approach?
So I was already on a time crunch because my board examination this year was the last one to be held, April 10th for legal studies.
Oh,
So I comparatively had a little less time. So it is very important to reorient yourselves because just before that, you are studying only from the perspective of CBSE paper. So now, once that has ended, you have to change a lot in your perspective. What I did was I made so many flashcards of specific points. You have to focus a lot on keywords, you have to focus a lot on words, basically questions which CUET or the NTA would think you won't really focus on, but that is exactly what they ask you. They will ask you MCQs from captions below pictures, quotes even in the back exercises. So, and timeline boxes, for example, the ones we had in history, even in political science. So what I did was I made a lot of flashcards, I made timelines, I wrote small pointers and I pasted them on the wall. So every time I walked past that wall, I would read just a little bit, and it would basically become like a muscle memory to me. At one point, I was giving mocks and I didn't even have to read the question completely and I knew what the answer was. So you have to familiarize yourself with the NCRT so much. And you don't really have to go beyond that because NCRT is, as they say, your Bible at this point. Another thing I would like to re-emphasize how important it is to give marks. So before my board examinations, I would give 3, 4, maybe 5 marks a week. But during this 1 month, I used to give 5, 6, 7 marks a day because CUT marks don't take you a whole hour. They take you not more than 30 minutes. So your time does get lessened in two half. So you can give a lot of mocks, and it is very important to do so. Another thing is during that later month, you won't be able to attend all your classes. But I would suggest that if you have weak topics or weak chapters, watch the class recordings of that. Refer to them again because we are giving this paper for the first time, but our teachers have been familiar with this paper for a very long time, for years. So they know where to guide you. So that is what I did. I did refer to class recordings a lot, and I gave a lot of mocks, and I kept on reading the book. I just kept on reading the book. And even if I wanted to take a break from all that reading and just subjective content, my break was giving a mock because it stimulated my brain in an entirely different manner. And another important thing is, it's from a very personal opinion, is you should take care of your health while you are preparing. If you don't do that, you will actually not be able to give complete attention to what you need to study. Yes.
very good. So I've covered so many aspects like of your preparation in this question, and very, very important. You have on the last part, you have said that you should be taking care of your health, right? Sleep, right? Food specifically, very, very importantly for those days. So it's a very good advice. Okay, now tell me one thing, Aksa. Specifically, you have spoken a lot about mocks. Very, very importantly, you said that those played a very crucial role in your preparation strategy. Okay. Now, talking specifically about career launcher, how
Yes.
did career launchers coaching and mock test you have already given the answer, so you can include that again. So how did career launchers coaching and the mock test that the career launcher has provided contributed to your preparation strategy? What was the most valuable part for you?
The most valuable part for me were actually the classes. So, the classes that I attended almost daily, the one thing I loved the most about them was towards the end, there was this one section of questions that we had to answer in the chat box. That was very good training for the paper. Not only did you pay attention to the whole class, you were tested at the very end of it. That helped a lot to remember what was taught in the class, because sometimes just keep on passively listening becomes slightly boring. You do get distracted. So the only two things that could fix that was class discussions, which were a huge part. of the classes, and it played a very important role, and the questions that were asked in the end. So that contributed a lot to whatever I've been able to achieve in these papers. Mock tests, of course, I've emphasized the importance of. And one thing that helped me a lot was I did give a few test series, and but the one thing I realized was that the interface of the CL mocks and the interface of the actual CUET paper on the computer, it is exactly the same. It is exactly the same. So that also instills a sense of confidence in you, because once you step into that examination hall, you are completely prepared. You have every weapon in your arsenal and you have no reason to feel underconfident. So the mock test interface and the classes with the questions, very important, helped me a lot. And also the fact that we didn't just cover the syllabus once, we had 2 rounds of covering the syllabus, and I always had class recordings to refer to. That was always helpful.
This question also, you have covered multiple aspects. You have not only given importance to the classes content, you have spoken about the questions that were being given in the end. So what students are usually doing, and I keep on telling them, they tend to leave the class once the content part gets over. As you were talking about, it is not mere the passive listening. So I can again vouch for that. You were amongst those students who were staying till the end and answering every question. So that is a very, very important aspect. Now, when it comes to the mock test which CL is providing, we are working very, very hard for that mock test. So thank you very much that you've for your compliments. And yes, we are ensuring that we are giving that real time exposure to the student so that they don't fear in the actual examination. Yeah. Okay. Now moving forward, Aksa, tell me one thing. Every topper's journey, when we are talking about every topper's journey, it has a chapter they rarely talk about. A moment of self-doubt. Okay. A difficult phase. So did you have any such type of low moment, difficult phase? And if you had, then how did you bring yourself back? How did you pull yourself back from that moment, low moment?
I did come, there was such a moment. It was, I think, during the months of November, because that is when I had to prepare for my pre boards. And I couldn't exactly let go of my COET preparation either. And I felt like I was being pulled in 2 different directions. And it was very stressful and it was to an extent scary. And I reached a point where I was very close to giving up, where it was just, you know, अब जो होगा होगा देखा जाएगा. But then I realized that I made a promise to myself. It has been my dream to get into this specific college with this specific course for years, for years. And it has been my dream for a really long time. And I made a promise to myself that I will do everything I can to attain that dream. So, out of respect to what I promised to myself, and out of respect of all the effort that I had put in during the months earlier, out of respect of the support given to me by my family, my friends, my teachers, everyone who genuinely wanted to see me succeed, I knew that I had to do this. I knew that I had to pull through, because it was not just for me, it was for a whole ecosystem that supported me. It was also for a past version of me who dreamed about this like a child. So, in order to prove my love to that, I pulled myself through.
Okay. So for a very long period of time, you wanted to get into
Yes.
LSR only for BA Psychology honors.
Yes. Yes.
Then I'm very, very happy that you've gotten into that only. Very glad. Yeah. Okay. One more question, Aksa, last question. Now you've already, as you were emphasizing on this point, that you really wanted to get into LSR for BA Psychology honors. So
Yes.
this one goal in your life you've already achieved now.
Yes.
Now you this is a success in your life. Now what about the future aspirants who also wants to get into this LSR college for BA Psychology honors or any other course in LSR or any other good college in the university? What do you wish you had known from day one, which you want to tell them? What piece of advice do you have for the future aspirants?
It is very important to rely on people during this time. That is my piece of advice because I was frazzled most of the time. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't even aware if I was eating, if I was sleeping. And the only reason me, my body sustained through this period was the support of my sister, my mother, my friends, people who constantly checked up on me. I had this system of communication with people around me to constantly ask me if I had given this mock, if I had given this paper, if I had covered this chapter. Because I have a tendency to procrastinate, I have a tendency to get distracted a lot. I'll be honest here, I genuinely get distracted a lot. So I knew I had to build a system where it was not just in my control, but some control in the hands of others who would push me to do what I was supposed to. So it is very important that you rely on people around you. It will help you a lot. It will help you sail through. Keep the people around you in loop with respect to what you're studying, why you're studying, until when do you have to achieve that target. That is very important. If you start doing that from day one, you will feel very comfortable during that last 1 month of preparation. Because I did. I felt the most at ease and confident during that 1 month because I had already prepared multiple times beforehand. Yes,
So after listening to your this answer, I can say that it was your collective journey. It was
yes,
not your own journey, it was a collective journey of your near and dear ones also. And
yes,
they have helped you, and then you were being able to achieve this goal. Okay.
yes.
So, Aksa, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much for being here today. A 99 percentile in CBSE board examination, and then you are achieving, you are being able to achieve what you dreamt of. That is LSR psychology. So we are incredibly proud of you, and we
Thank,
know this is just the start of your remarkable journey. All the very best to you, Aksa, for your future endeavors. Thank you very
thank
much.
you so much, sir. Thank you.